Let me read my comments. Let's see what the viewer said. Oh, Lord Rakin? Buy the Gamewave and review it. What the hell's a Gamewave?
Play a trivia game with multiple choice.
Colored controllers?
And you answer by pressing A, B, C, or D, okay? But first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our names in. So press select.
Hey, look at that, there's my color.
Wait, what? Hello humans and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. First of all, let me give a big shout out to Lord Rakin. He's the one that left the comment that gave me the inspiration for this video. And let me tell you, this is a doozy. What happened is I put up a poll earlier today to see what you guys wanted to hear next, and I had three choices: lessons that should have been learned by creators from the Amico, Nintendo 5 years of Joy-Con drift, and EA bans Russian teams. Well, in the comment section, he left this message, which was, buy the Gamewave and review it. Well, I looked into it, and guys, it was just like walking into the Twilight Zone. This is just crazy. Now, don't worry, guys. Everything that I'm going to read and all the links for all this stuff is going to be in the description, so you can go and check this stuff out yourselves. First, I'm going to read from giantbomb.com because, you know, their intro is pretty concise, and it has a couple of great points here and how similar these concepts are. I mean, it's eerie. So the Sapid Gamewave Family Entertainment System is a family-oriented video game console. You heard that before? It's being a console meant for family settings. And check this out, in a software library almost exclusively for non-gamers. Holy shit. It's whiskey for non-drinkers. How didn't this work? You know, this is a game console that was released back in 2005 in Canada. Now, as many Canadians are commenting on the Amico, how come you guys haven't been pushing this? This is just eerie. It's nuts. Check this out. When this console was launched back in 2005, it was famous for being underpowered. And it was trying to carve a niche market, right? And its competitors were Nintendo with the GameCube, the PlayStation 2, Sony, and the Xbox. It doesn't get any better than this, guys. You can't make this shit up. I mean, it is just nuts. Now, what I'm about to say next, you guys are going to think that I'm making this shit up, but I'm not. I'm going to put a link to this video, and it's from Stuff We Play. They actually made a mini documentary about this console. Okay, but let me give you the cliff notes here. So these guys started off well, right? They had plenty of backers. They had a great idea. They started off with a price of $50. That's how they were going to get into the market. They said, we're going to make this console for $50. Well, guess what? They had to raise the price. I'm not making it up, guys. They had to raise the price to $100, double the price, because, you know, hardware prices were higher than they thought. Sound familiar? Oh, but it gets better. It gets way, way better. So, you know, they eventually make the console and don't advertise it. They don't do proper marketing. I'm not kidding you. They don't they don't ship it to the US. They just make it and don't do proper advertising to it. You know, in the end, towards the desperation, they put it on mobile. You can't make this shit up. The similarities are eerie. And you would think the similarities would end there. No, of course not. Because this is the Twilight Zone. This is a parallel universe that happened in 2005, believe it or not. So when they saw that this thing was crashing and burning and they couldn't get any traction, that they advertised properly, that they hired PR, no, of course not. What they were going to do is market to Christian families. Can anybody say Utah? Oh my gosh. But guys, there's more. There's much, much more. I'm telling you, this is the Twilight Zone. Now, I know what you're thinking by this time. There is no possible way in this universe there could be more. But guys, this is the Twilight Zone. I'm telling you, this is the father of the Amico. Even though this company had their own webpage and web store in which they put a link to Toys R Us to sell the console, there is no actual proof that exists that this console ever made it to the store. Jeez. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay? All this story needs is a smooth-talking, flamboyant CEO, right? There's no possible way that this story can have this too. There's no possible way. I mean, it would be too much of a coincidence. Well, let me introduce you to Harry Venkatacharya. Oh yes, our story could not be complete without a CEO that runs the company to the ground and then leaves. Jeez. Oh man. I mean, at this point, I was questioning my sanity. At this point, I was thinking that that the comment was made by somebody that went to the internet and made up the story just so I could read it. But I mean, there's so many references to this, including official records, that it's nuts, guys. And I really do encourage you to go watch the full documentary from Stuff We Play, because all the details are there. I'm just giving you the cliff notes. But as I'm reading this, my jaw is dropping to the floor. And it wasn't because of graphics. Jeez. I mean, it is nuts. It is truly nuts. And guess what happened to our friend here? After he, basically drove the company into the ground and they ran out of funds, right? He went on his own way and he started making interesting loan deals, right? And he was arrested eventually for fraud. And I'm putting the record here so you guys can see it, because as I'm reading it, I still don't believe there's so many similarities, between these two companies, and I hope nobody gets arrested for fraud. I never, wish anybody ill, but the similarities are just eerie, You have a family-centered console that starts up and everybody's, gung-ho for it. They got plenty of backers, they have partners in the industry, and they run it so badly everybody starts leaving. In the first year they can only make 5 games. That's a coincidence too, right? They never got to game number 6, and they eventually did make 11 games, but at first they only made 5. And I'm telling you guys, I was reading this and I was having a tough day, and I really have to say that this made me smile, after a hard day. And again, I have to give a big shout out to Lord Rakin for giving me this idea and, putting me on this path to read this, because I wouldn't have believed it if you would have told it to me. I thought it would be fake, and I can't believe our Canadian friends haven't pointed this out, because this should have been front and center above all other comparisons. Forget the chameleon. This right here is the father of the Amico. When you add up all the similarities, guys, you have a game console that was developed for families. It's family oriented. You have game controllers by color. It's a color scheme of game controllers to play the games. You have an over-the-top CEO, charismatic guy that ends up leaving. That's involved with loans. You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. You know, when it comes to the Gamewave, you are the father of the Amico. My gosh, guys. They say those who don't learn from history are cursed to repeat it. That could never be more true than right now.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.